These are one of those videos where stuff can get serious on a specific topic or just talking. To be honest with you, I really wanted to make this video to kind of go back to my original content, to just check up on everybody and share stories and I guess heal y'all as well, because I'm healing too. First of all, I want to thank God that we all made it to 2025. We all made it here safely. Hopefully everybody who made it to 2025 is in a warm home with a nice meal in their stomach, blessed. And for the people who have no home with no food in their stomachs, I pray that your situation gets better, and to have faith and hold your head high. Never give up, because that's what they want. Let's get straight to the point. You don't have to be sad, angry, happy, surprised. Any emotion that you feeling right now, you don't have to worry about it. This is basically like we listen but we don't judge type of video. Mental health doesn't always mean suicidal or a disorder that's inside of their brain that makes them function in a certain type of way. Mental health can also be used in situations and how a person is feeling at that moment. Somebody could be battling an internal battle with themselves, and nobody will ever know because that person doesn't open up, because they've been hurt so many times. And I went through a phase where I was going through that problem. I didn't talk to my mom at some point, and this was when I was younger. This is when I was back in school, because I'm homeschooled now. So throughout those times, I was really just trying to stay to myself. There's so much strength in a weak person, if you know what I'm saying. Let me explain it to you. A weak person can be weak in somebody else's eyes, but to themselves, they're strong, because no matter what stone was thrown at them, what insults might have been thrown at them, they stood 10 toes and they fought through it. That's why I say a weak person could be a strong person. Now, I'm not saying you can be weak to be strong. I'm just saying somebody could be broken down into pieces and nobody would know. They would keep that to themselves. They would laugh and, joke around, and sometimes they might express their feelings in violence. That's why there's bullies nowadays and murderers and, a bunch of bad energy, because they never express the feeling that's inside of their head and in their body, their soul. It's like a parasite corrupting them from the inside. And once you don't remove that parasite, it's over. It consumes you completely. This is why a lot of people also commit suicide. I'm going to blurt that. Never mind. No, I'm going to keep this as raw as possible. A lot of people think taking their own life is an easy way of coping, or using drugs as a way to get through the day, to get through the problems that they might have at home or at school or at work or in public, just in a random place. They might do things, they might cut themselves to, feel numb. And in some cases, this is why a lot of murderers, serial killers, professors and more people in that type of area, that's how they're created, because most of the time they're fighting a battle with themselves. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's up to you if you're going to win that battle or lose it. You're going to let it go or let it consume you completely. And like I said, I'm not judging anybody for what they do. I know there's kids out there that uses drugs because of their situation at home, or they're out here doing the most with all these different type of crowds and stuff because maybe they don't get love at home, or maybe they're just absent. Like maybe the mom loves them, but she's absent in their life. And this is why a lot of kids lean into like street violence, and it's a lot of stuff. Don't think that kids don't go through it too. That's the earliest age, depression, and where mental health needs to be explained. They need to learn when to express their feelings out. You know what I'm saying? I know it could be hard. You might not have anybody, but there can just be a time when you talk to yourself. I know this sounds crazy, but just listen to me. There could be a time where you could just sit back and just let it all out. If you have to scream, scream. If you have to punch the wall, punch the wall. I'm not saying you should do that, but if it's that serious, then yes, do what you gotta do. If you gotta cry, then cry. It's okay. You're not weak for wanting to fix the problem that's within you. Being the better self, the better version, the better update of yourself, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. Then let's say if you're actually in a good situation, but you're going through something at school, right? And you know, nobody's just listening to you. You go on the game with your friends and they be like, oh, we don't care. Just play the game, bro. No, nobody cares. Like, keep your head up. Sometimes people can't keep their head up all the time. You know? Sometimes people need a hug. Sometimes people need the words of encouragement to brighten their day, to brighten their life. You know? It's certain reasons why situations are pushed into somebody's life. It's either to make them or break them. If you really think about it, life is a test from God itself. God sent the devil here to earth and his fallen angels to deceive his chosen ones, to see if they're strong enough to win these battles. So we're all his children. Some of us is. I know there's some people that worship Satan and cults. I'm not going to get into all of that, but most of us believe in God, or in different cultures they believe in God, but in a different way. We all know we're all connected in some way. We're all God's children, okay? If he sent the devil here to torment us, that means that he knew that we'd be strong enough to fight. So like I said, it's up to you to win the battle, because it doesn't have to be in front of your face. It can be what's inside. It can eat you alive from the inside, and then it can show from the outside. Because look, if you're going through it and you don't express your problems, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to start lashing out. You're going to start being a lot more emotional. You're going to start, being angrier, because it's a common thing. There's no escaping it. No matter if you try to hide it or cover it up. Like, imagine you sleep in your room and you throw all the dust and all the particles of whatever you got on the floor underneath the table. You think that your mom won't see that? She's going to see it. She's going to see it. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to know when there's a problem, and then you gotta be strong enough to solve it. I was in school, I dealt with bullying. It's common. There's nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing, that's not a joke. People actually hurt themselves because they get bullied. But listen, let me tell you something. I dealt with bullying. I dealt with teachers hurting me physically, mentally, physically. Okay? I dealt with the problems of society itself. I said in my songs before, there was a process where I was homeless before. Okay? And that took a toll on me. Imagine not having anywhere to go, nowhere to sleep, nothing to eat. You have to think of something fun to do. Just put a fun memory in your head so you can get through the day. Yeah, that takes a toll after a while. Because when you're sitting down and you're looking around and you got everything, that stuff gonna come back. And it's gonna be like, dang, I've been hiding this feeling so long. I've been wanting to get out of this situation and hide for so long, to the point where now all of these feelings are bursting out. See, look, once you're in a comfortable position after hiding how you felt for so long, not expressing to someone or to yourself, it's going to come back and bite you. And that's where the mental gets involved. Because now it's not just how you express yourself out in public or how you feel. Now it's really attacking your mental, your brain. It's making you think that this certain activity that you know is wrong is good. And it reroutes your brain to think that everything bad is good. You being treated bad by family members isn't good. You being bullied at school is not cool. You being assaulted on the street for no reason because you live in a gang neighborhood and you don't bang any set or you don't get into any activities, that's not cool. That's not something you need to get adjusted to. That's not a life that you would want to live. Constant pain over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's called a cycle. And once you're stuck in a cycle, like I said, it's going to keep happening over and over and over and over again. And there's nothing you can do to stop it because you allowed yourself to be in that cycle. I really wanted to make this video to let you know that my channel is like how can I say this? It's like a way to express yourself without having to fake and put on an image. You know, my channel is here to help and to heal and to make you laugh and to make you cry. You know, it's like a relationship with the soul. So, yeah. This is a nice, good session that we needed to have as a community, you know, and I think it was about that time to really sit down and talk about it. And I mean, I have a whole lot of other things I have to do, yes, but I also want to make sure that my community is still prospering, blessed, and happy, and not worrying about anything. Because as a creator, I make videos and you sit down and enjoy them. And if you don't like my videos, well, you know, you can skip past it and watch something else. The moral of the video is that everybody has a story to tell. So tell it. Because even if you don't think nobody cares, somebody out there does. And if you don't tell it, who will?